Hello everyone, welcome to Leeation. In this video we are going to discuss about 5 different aviation topics, so make sure you watch the full video. But before getting into the video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure that you can subscribe to my channel because it is a total free option for you to be updated about aviation always. So now let's dive into the video. Number 1. Emirates and Etihad could work together against COVID-19. Emirates is likely to benefit in the markets that Etihad Airways withdraws from in the wake of its move to restructure its business models to become a linear airline after the coronavirus pandemic, according to the airline's president Sir Tim Clark. In an interview with Arabian Business, Clark also said he is bullish about the future use of the A380 Super Jumbo in spite of gloomy forecasts from the International Air Transport Association or IATA. Clark said that the two UAE airlines will be able to work together to solve demand issues in the country following Etihad's restructure. With their announcement to concentrate on making them a linear airline, it is likely that Emirates will benefit from where they have withdrawn. I'm not saying we are predatory in all that. I'm quite sure that Emirates and Etihad can work together to resolve quite a few of the demand issues that come out of the UAE with regard to them contracting their works and reinstatement of ours. Clark said he was optimistic that there will be some kind of meetings of the minds with regards to how we go about this. But he added, that is not to say that, as everyone keeps saying, are we going to merge the two airlines and all the other bits and pieces? No. I think Tony Douglas is doing a great job in doing what he needed to do with Etihad, getting it back onto a profitable footing, coming up with a network that makes sense to the ownership and Abu Dhabi, and perhaps seeing how demand moves between the two cities. I'm fairly optimistic about that. Clark also said Emirates is likely to get more out of its A380 Super Jumbos after the coronavirus pandemic. A380s remain hugely popular with the traveling public, he said in the interview. And with less of them around now, I should think we will do particularly well with this aeroplane when we get them all flying again. He added, we value it enormously. We regret the fact it's gone out of production, but that is testament to the strength of our business model, where others have tried to use it and failed. It's been enormously successful for us in many ways, directly and indirectly, so we will have to manage eventually the departure of the aeroplane. Number 2. Major AirAsia fleet updates. In slides presented at an analyst briefing following the release of its third quarter results, AirAsia Group states in its outlook that it has planned for a reduction in our fleet count to match our expected recovery post-pandemic. The group, comprising units in Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, and India, anticipates a reduction of 23 aircraft by the end of 2021 to 221 aircraft. By the end of 2020, the aircraft will have one less aircraft than the end of 2019. This is led by the decrease in fleet size from Thai AirAsia as well as the now shuttered AirAsia Japan. Malaysia-based AirAsia Berhad as well as Indonesia AirAsia will have 0 aircraft growth for the year, while Philippines AirAsia and AirAsia India will expand their fleet by 1 and 4 aircraft respectively. By 2021, all of the group's carriers expect AirAsia India will reduce their fleet size by between 1 to 8 aircraft. AirAsia India, meanwhile, will add 1 aircraft to its fleet. AirAsia India's 5 aircraft addition between 2020 and 2021 is reported to the Airbus A320neos, of which it currently has 2 examples in its fleet. Indian media citing an AirAsia India spokesperson says the airline will be taking a third A320neo by December, with the remaining 2 aircraft arriving by 2021. AirAsia India, a joint venture with the group and Indian conglomerate Tata Group, was also reported to have its eyes set on expansion, with the carrier targeting to operate nearly 2/3 its pre-pandemic capacity and increase from the current 55%. The carrier was most recently the subject of ongoing investment review, with AirAsia Group President for Airlines Paul Lingham stating that cost containment and reducing cash burns remain key priorities for the group, which led to the closure of AirAsia Japan and an ongoing review of our investment in AirAsia India. There was also rumors that the Tata Group could increase its shareholding in the carrier, effectively taking over AirAsia Group's stake. In June, Group Chief Tony Fernandez was was reported to be considering pulling out of the joint venture altogether. AirAsia Group has not publicly commented on the matter. The latest fleet update comes after the group said in April it was negotiating in its outstanding orders with Airbus and would be taking no new aircraft in 2020. The group's earlier estimates indicate that AirAsia and AirAsia X were due to receive 14 aircraft in 2020 and a further 29 aircraft in 2021. Number 3. Southwest expects more than 6,000 job cuts. Southwest Airlines, previously priding itself in not having laid off a single employee because of the crisis, on Thursday warned over 6,800 employees they might be furloughed in spring 2021. Depending on the work group, this could be anywhere between March 15th and April 1st, the Dallas Morning News reports. According to the CNN, the numbers are made up to 2,551 ground crew, 1,176 service agents, 1,500 flight attendants, and 1,221 pilots. These would be the first layoffs in Southwest's half-a-century-long history and amount to over 10% of the airline's current workforce. We're not closing the door. We will continue negotiations if union representatives want to continue working toward reaching mutually agreeable solutions, the carrier said in an internal memo to stars seen by the news outlet. The airline has asked the unions representing 83% of its workforce to agree to a 10% pay cut to avoid the massive furloughs coming spring. Deals have thus far been concluded with the airline's meteorologist and dispatcher unions. However, the remaining labor groups are yet to comply with the terms, prompting Thursday's large-scale warning. Non-unionized workers have already taken similar pay cuts, and Southwest CEO Gary Kelly has trimmed his base salary down to zero for next year. Other leadership group members have seen their base pays cut by 10% for the same time period. However, the aim has been to finalize cost-saving measures across all employee categories by January 1st. Southwest has previously warned over 400 employees in its mechanics, technicians, and maintenance work groups. Companies are required by law to issue warn notice 60 to 90 days before any planned mass furloughs. The layoffs are not certain, but the warnings issued earlier than required may also be a way of exercising pressure on the stalled union negotiations. We have been engaged with our union since early October, seeking temporary cost reductions to help offset over $1 billion of overstaffing cost projected for 2021. Russell McCary, Southwest Vice President of Labor Relations, told the Dallas Morning News, "Our absolute goal is to preserve every job at Southwest Airlines. However, due to a lack of meaningful programs in negotiations, we had to proceed with issuing notifications to additional employees who are valued members of the Southwest family." Number 4. 737 MAX huge order of 2020. 2020 hasn't been the best year for Boeing. 737 MAX orders ended ahead of today. Only 5 of the type had been ordered. 2 for Poland's interior, with other 3 for an unidentified customer. Airlines haven't been keen to order the aircraft while it was grounded. As such, recent order by Ryanair will act as a massive boost for the 737 MAX program. Ryanair's increased order pushed its total order for the Boeing 737-8 from 200 to 210 aircraft. As such, the deal is now worth over $22 billion. Interestingly, in his presentation on the order, Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary referred to the aircraft without its MAX name. Throughout the 737 MAX crisis, many have suggested dropping the name from the aircraft. O'Leary signed the order in Washington. Commenting on the order, O'Leary said that the Boeing 737 MAX will be the most scrutinized and audited aircraft in history. O'Leary then remarked that Airbus just don't make aircraft as well as Boeing, before adding, "We are pleased and proud to place this enlarged order with Boeing, who have successfully completed the return to service of the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. We hope to take delivery of at least 50 of these aircraft in 2021, subject to Boeing recovering its manufacturing output to deliver them." While yet to receive its first aircraft of the type, Ryanair is no stranger to the Boeing 737 MAX. According to Boeing's order books, before today's edition, the airline was expecting a total of 135 737 MAX aircraft following an initial order of 100 aircraft in 2014. Ryanair will operate a particular variant of 737 MAX-8 known as the 737 MAX 200. This aircraft will seat almost 200 passengers to accommodate so many flyers. The aircraft has an additional emergency exit behind the wings. As a result, the type still requires separate certification beyond the main 737 MAX certification. Additionally, as a European operator, Ryanair will need to wait for AirAsia and individual European nations to recertify the MAX before deliveries can begin. However, the order is nevertheless a win for Boeing. If Ryanair didn't have the confidence in the aircraft, it wouldn't have placed the order regardless of the price. Number 5. ATR has received certification for its new freighter variant 72-600F. The turboprop aircraft is the cargo version of its regional passenger plane. FedEx Express will be the launch operator of the new cargo plane. The newly certified ATR 72-600F is the first ATR aircraft to be specifically designed in a cargo configuration. Other ATR cargo aircraft have all been reconfigured from existing passenger planes. Specifically, the plane has a large cargo door for front loading. There are no windows, a reinforced floor, and a Class E cabin. The cabin upgrade means the plane can transport bulk cargo and loading units of up to 7 containers. With the new configuration, FedEx, the launch customer, could receive its first aircraft by the end of the month. The cargo carrier placed an order for 30 of the freighter aircraft way back in November 2017. Delivery was scheduled to begin this year, and with just weeks to go and the certification now official, this could still happen. FedEx had been converting ATR passenger planes into freighters for years. The cargo airline worked with ATR to design the new aircraft to help increase operational efficiency. FedEx hopes the carrier will help it in smaller and medium-sized markets. ATR completed its first test flight with its new 72-600F in September from Toulouse in France. In a comment after the successful test flight, ATR commented, "This new freighter further cements ATR's leadership position in the regional freighter market, where ATR cargo aircraft already represent a third of the in-service regional freighter fleet." In 2017, FedEx also placed a firm order for another turboprop aircraft. The cargo carrier placed an order for 50 new Cessna 408 Sky Courier with an option to extend that to 100. The FedEx Express will use the aircraft to deliver to remote locations similar to the ATR 72-600F. The first flight test took place early this year, and FedEx Express will also the launch customer for this aircraft. The first delivery was due to take place this year, but this may not happen in 2021. The aircraft received the Federal Aviation Administration certification for its Macaulay propellers in September. As with the ATR aircraft, FedEx has significant inputs into the plane's design and main features. The ATR 72-600F freighters cousin, the 42-600S passenger aircraft, is also getting closer to hitting the skies. Earlier this year, P&G placed an order for 3 of the aircraft to be delivered in 2022. This makes P&G the launch customer. The 42-seater aircraft can take off and land on runways as short as 800 meters, making it a good choice for P&G. ATR claims there are 500 airports globally that have runways this short, meaning there is a definite market for this new model. So that's it for today. Comment your thought about the topics what we have covered in this video. I was thanking all of my subscribers and welcoming you if you subscribe to my channel newly. Have a safe flight and thank you for watching.